Hello YouTube and fellow Star Wars collectors! On this episode of Toys Are the Way, we will be taking a look at a bunch of different world building items that are offered by some amazing people within the community. If you're new to the channel or a fan of Star Wars collecting, be sure to smash a like on this video, remember to subscribe, and make sure to ring that bell to stay notified. Welcome back everyone. As many of you know, I like to create different worlds and environments for my figures to be displayed in and then use for my toy photography. Building walls is the first step and then getting some figures in there to populate it. But after that, you're going to need some food and supplies for all these different characters. So today I wanted to share a bunch of different world building items that are supplied by many awesome people in the community. I see a lot of comments on my videos and pictures about where I get certain crates and accessories. Therefore, I wanted to share with you some of my favorite world building accessories and some amazing people who supply them. Here you can see a variety of different weapons, bandoliers, crates, barrels, and 3D printed heads that I use for customs to help populate and build out the world within my collection room. So with that being said, let's take a closer look at some of these items. So first up, I want to give a special thank you to Sandcrawler Customs for sending me this amazing Gonk Grill. Thank you very much. It is a really nice addition to the collection and I had a lot of fun painting it up. If you're interested in picking up this Gonk Grill, it will be available in the near future on Outer Rim Traders. And they have a bunch of other great 3D printed stuff if you're looking for that kind of world building accessory. I will definitely leave them linked in the description down below, along with all the other world building items we'll be going over today. But as you can see, this little Gonk Grill is a great addition to any display or collection. If you have a nice diorama, you're going to want, a place for your aliens to cook up some dinner. And here I have it displayed with some face hugger accessories that are actually from Hiya Toys. They have a wonderful selection of Predator and Alien figures if you're into that kind of sci-fi stuff. But yeah, very happy with this little grill. I painted it up and weathered it, and I think it's a nice addition to my town diorama. Taking a closer look at this Gonk Grill, it is a wonderful 3D printed item that was done with a resin printer. Therefore, you're going to have a lot of nice detail, but also a smooth finish. And here you can see, I just really love the grill on the top that was done. And I added some nice rust marks to that and just also painted it with a silver paint marker, like I do with many of my other projects, and just, weathered that up really nicely. This piece comes fully black, so I actually spray painted the top a nice aqua blue color. I thought that would add a little bit of more vibrancy to my dark diorama displays. Everything's usually metal and stone, so you're going to want to add color when you're world building. Just, give it a little pop. I then went in with, a nice wash that I usually do throughout all my other dioramas. Just dirtied it up a bit. Went in there with silver paint marker, added some, metal scrapings, and then also added the rust mark and runoff. Very similar to what I've done recently on my Endor bunker upgrade, so if you're curious about that kind of technique, check out that video as well. For the feet, I don't even think I actually painted these. This is the stock black resin that was used. I did weather them up a bit and add the same effect as I did to the main body of the Gonk. These actually come as a separate two pieces. You're supposed to glue them in there, but I actually used just a little bit of tack so that they're still attached, but this thing's not going to be moving around a bit, and if I did want to, move his feet a little bit, that gives me the option to do so. I'm pretty sure you're supposed to glue those, but that was just me thinking outside the box. But all in all, this thing has some really nice detail, and it's a nice little piece to add to your, diorama or shelf display. So if you're interested in this or any other cool stuff from Outer Rim Traders, definitely check them out. They actually do have a 3D printed blurg that I'm very, very interested in getting because unfortunately, we have not gotten that world-building creature for our Mandalorian collections. So definitely check them out, and thank you again to Sandcrawler Customs for sending me this awesome piece. And definitely be sure to check them out on Instagram and Facebook as well. And next up, we have a bunch of crates, barrels, and other accessories from Hole in the Ground Productions, a very well-known name in the 375 Star Wars community. If you're unfamiliar with Hole in the Ground Productions, please go check out that website. He has a lot of different world-building items that will help you build out your displays and just add to your collection. I'm a huge fan of his products, especially the crates, which are nicely sculpted and have an excellent smooth finish. These are resin pieces which usually come in white or gray, and you will have to paint these yourselves, but it's really not that hard of a process. I typically just spray paint these with stuff that I get from the hardware store, and then add some detailing and weathering. So really not that hard of a project, and it will bring a lot of life to your display. I recently picked up this fuel/rhydonium canister that you see in the Rebels series because I have just wanted that for quite a long time, and with the rumors of an upcoming Ghost, I wanted to have some accessories to have displayed with that item. These crates are also from that Rebels series, and those are something that I've wanted for a long time as well, so finally got around to getting those 2 items and a couple more crates and barrels for my displays. Taking a look at the rhydonium canister, it is an excellent resin piece. Very durable, and it has lots of detail throughout. Unfortunately, like I said, these things do not come pre-painted. You will have to paint these yourselves, but don't be too worried. This was a pretty easy process. I essentially just spray painted the entire thing red, let that dry for a period of time, went back in with tape and taped off all the areas that I wanted to be gray, and then hit that with some gray spray paint as well, untaped everything, and then added weathering and all that stuff, and then went back in for this final detail with a paint marker so that it looked like the illuminated strips that you see in the series. So not too hard of a project. Again, many of the techniques I used you can see in the Endor bunker or any of my other diorama tutorials. But like I said, I'm very excited to have this one. I definitely want to get a bunch more of these and continue the process because they look fantastic. Taking a look at the Rebels crate, I just want to say that I am so impressed and happy that I finally picked this one up from Hole in the Ground Productions. It is just nice to have an accessory crate that has, a lid so you can actually use it for storing things. Very cool. Sometimes we get extra blasters and all sorts of items that, you just don't know where to put, but this is a great way to store them and display in your collection. And it's just really nice that, it actually is a working lid. So cool. Very nice stuff. Once again, for this item, it doesn't come painted, so I spray painted the whole thing green, and then went back in, taped off the details like the dark gray, added that color, taped that off again, and then did this nice stripe across the top, because I really wanted it to match what was seen in Rebels. So very cool stuff, very nice detail, excellent item to add to your collection, and I'm definitely picking up a lot more of these, because like I said, I'm going to want these things displayed with my future possible Rebels items that are coming to the vintage collection. So very, very cool stuff. So if you're ever looking for some crates and barrels to add to your collection, be sure to check out Hole in the Ground Productions. He is an absolute valuable resource in the 375 Star Wars community. And if you're interested, he recently did an interview on the SWTVC podcast. So be sure to check out one of those recent episodes, which I will have linked in the description down below, or you can check it out on the SWTVC YouTube channel where they have all their podcast episodes as well. Moving on, if you're ever looking for extra weapons, hands, or other accessories to really elevate your 1/18 scale figures, then Audes Workshop is the store you have been looking for. If you've been a fan of the channel for quite some time, you may have seen these rifles that I picked up for my ARC Troopers when they first came out, and I finally got around to getting the specialty rifles seen in Rogue One for my Death Troopers, as well as the missing rifle that should have been included with our Cassian Andor from the Aldhani mission. I will definitely leave a link in the description down below to his Instagram and eBay page in case you ever wanted to pick up some of these items for your own collection. In addition to these rifles, I also got a couple other things from his shop recently. I got this really nice jetpack for my armor, which I plan to paint up, and it comes with 2 flames that can be inserted into the jetpack as well. So very nice stuff. Not sure if we're ever going to get that upgrade to that figure in the vintage collection, so I might as well update her with this accessory myself. I also got the set of extra hands that have different gestures for my stormtroopers. This is going to be very nice for displaying all my troops in battle. And here you can see the hand inserted into the recent A New Hope Stormtrooper, and I've got to say that it looks absolutely fantastic. I will have to paint it to match the other hand, but I must say that this is really going to elevate my shelf display, having these troops in battle with different gestures. Another accessory that was offered on his eBay page was this set of hands for either Boba Fett or a Mandalorian figure, which of course I had to pick up. Here you can see one of the hands placed on the recent deluxe Boba Fett figure, and I think it just looks much more convincing when he's using his wrist gauntlet to fire away at his enemies. So a very nice addition to this figure. And then we have this set of hands, which has to be my favorite. It is the spinning of the pistol type of cowboy pose that is just perfect for the Mandalorian, who is like a gunslinger. And this is really going to look great when I display this figure. So very cool stuff. Like I said, I will have to paint these hands, but man, it just shows how hand gestures can really help display a figure. So something I want to see more in the vintage collection. But yeah, very happy with this set of hands. And taking a closer look at the DLT-19D rifle, I am very happy to finally add these to my Death Troopers. It is such a shame that Hasbro failed to, make this accessory and especially release it with the recent Army Builder 4-pack. That was such a missed opportunity to just get this rifle out there. But very happy to finally have this. Here you can see it's a nice resin piece that will need to be painted up, of course, and I'll probably add a little bit of silver weathering to it just to make it look, very run down and just like an old rifle that he's been using in battle for quite some time. But once again, happy to have this one finally added to my Death Troopers. And as I mentioned before, here we have Cassian with the proper rifle that should have been included for this Aldani mission release. It is definitely a shame that, Hasbro didn't give us the rifle, especially because it was on the card back. If the character's on the card back, it should have the accessory that it's being displayed with. But very happy that Audes Workshop came through and made these, and I'm happy to finally give it to Cassian and my extra troopers. So very cool stuff. So as I've mentioned before, definitely go check out Audes Workshop if you're interested in any kind of these accessories to really bring your 1/18 scale figures to life. Moving on, I wanted to share these crates that I found on Amazon and actually customize myself to make a eWeb carrying case, which is pretty cool. Here is how these little cases come. They're actually for remote control cars and carrying little tools on the back of them. Pretty cool stuff. They actually do open and close, which is nice. And here I took one and spray painted it white just to make it look, Imperial. I also cut out a piece of foam, put it in there so it looked like a nice carrying case, and just placed my eWeb cannon in there. So pretty nice stuff. It opens and closes. And then the rest of the parts I kind of put in this other little container. And I do have another medium-sized white one that carries the legs for the cannon as well. So pretty cool stuff. The two here I didn't feel like weathering. I kind of wanted them to be a nice, clean Imperial white. But then I did weather one so it looks like, this Imperial case has been in battle and on the front lines, just, getting all dirtied up and stuff. But just wanted to show you how, you can also find things that can be customized for what you're looking for. So I'm very happy that I was able to find these on Amazon and kind of customize them for my own needs. And now I have a place to put my extra eWeb cannon. And moving right along, I have to give a shout out to Krazy Customs, who supplies these amazing Death Star walls. A lot of people ask me, where do I get those Death Star walls? What are you using for that display? And he is a very valuable resource. These are 3D printed and they are very nice for setting up Imperial displays. Here you can see 3 of these different panels set up. You kind of have to clip them together. I actually choose to use tack to hold them together and some tape. You can definitely glue these together to make them more permanent. And that's pretty much just how I display these things when I'm doing toy photography. For my Imperial setup, they're pretty much the same thing. I use tack to adhere them to the walls and just kind of get creative when, building out this Imperial display. But I know a lot of people ask where I get these walls, and I just wanted to share that with you in case, you're trying to build your own Imperial hangar bay or something like that. So definitely check out Krazy Customs. He has a lot of fantastic stuff. And if you're new to the channel and have never seen my Death Star diorama display, definitely check out that video. It is on my channel, and I will have a card up in the top right corner if you're looking to check that out. And next up, we have a bunch of 3D printed alien heads provided by Scoundrel Stock, who I have mentioned multiple times during my custom videos. Very happy for this resource. It allows me to add so many different aliens to my town and diorama and just elevate my collection to another level. And I've got to say that Scoundrel Stock is definitely a very valuable resource. Look at all these aliens that I've created, and I continue to make more and more. I've actually recently made this little frog person. Very cool. Just took a quill that I had, an extra one, put the head on it, painted it up, and now I have another alien for my collection. And here you can see I have a Feltapern-ish type of character who I'm going to be adding to the collection as well. Still trying to figure out how I want to attach these little arms. They don't really have pegs and stuff, so I usually just glue them on there, but they will be stuck in a fixed position. So I was trying to see if I could maybe make my own peg that would actually be solid enough and not break away from the arm so he could have some rotation. So I'm still trying to figure that out, but getting to it. And I'm always in the market to add more aliens to the collection, and actually recently picked up a couple more heads. Here you can see this Niam Nub type of character that I'm definitely going to be painting up and adding to the collection as well. I always try to go for the simpler aliens that'll just, have black eyes and stuff, because painting faces is definitely a pain. I can do it. I'm not the best, but if I don't have to, make pupils and all sorts of stuff in the eyes, I'm definitely going for that. So, like I said, I try to go for aliens who just have a black eye, and everything else I kind of just spray paint on there and give it some washes and a little bit of detail. Here you can see another Aqualish type of character. I really enjoyed adding those ones to the collection, so wanted to get a few more of those ones. I went with this version that has 4 eyes instead of the 2. He has that option on his website, so wanted to try that out, but another bad alien that I could just add to my scum and villainy. And here you can see a closer look at this frog person who just has such a funny expression on their face. I really can't wait to get Frog Lady in the vintage collection. Something about these frogs is just so weird and cool, but here you can see a really nice head sculpt. I spray painted it a base color and added some wash and actually kind of splattered on these speckles just to give it a little bit more of a, I don't know, amphibian type of skin look. And then, of course, painted the eyes black. And then just sealed everything with a nice satin clear coat primer. So, really good stuff. Then I added soft goods, of course. I pretty much just dyed that with green paint and then wrapped it around, hot glued it in place, and just pretty much added that to the figure. So if you're ever looking for a simple head swap or just adding more aliens to your collection, then definitely check out Scoundrel Stock, who of course will be linked in the description down below. Moving on, we have some more 3D printed items, this time from Reliving the Past again on eBay. Some really nice world building accessories that can help you add to your dioramas. Here we have this moisture evaporator, which I got a long time ago. This one was pre-painted. It just had an option and I didn't feel like painting stuff, so I went with that option. You can see that this is a filament 3D print, so there's going to be the texture from the different layers of printing levels. So there's benefits and, setbacks. I do prefer resin printing because it's smooth. You don't see that. Sometimes in my pictures, that kind of stuff shows up. But regardless, it's a pretty nice little piece, and I'm very happy to have it in my town and diorama. He's got some barrels as well, and this other weird, I don't know, electrical type of device you would see on Tatooine or something. I recently picked up this master switch because since I got those DLT 19D rifles for my Death Troopers, I wanted to kind of recreate that scene with Chirrut when he has to find the master switch in Rogue One. Very happy to have this one and add it to the collection. Once again, it's a different kind of 3D print, so there's going to be a little bit of texture on here. I might try to sand some of it away and then prime it again, but regardless, this thing is probably pretty beat up since it's on the sands of Scarif, so very happy to have that in the collection. I'm also just going to be adding it to maybe one of my blending platforms as, just a regular communications device. But yeah, check out Reliving the Past again on eBay. And lastly, we have one of my favorite world builders who probably needs little to no introduction, Empire Toy Works. Here you can see a bunch of different barrels and crates and other accessories that I picked up over the years. He is a phenomenal world builder, and if you've never checked out his products on eBay or his Instagram page, you are definitely missing out. He has his own space station and just a beautiful world that he's created over time. He definitely has some of my favorite items that I've ever added to my collection, such as the market stands, which are just wonderful. You need these types of things in your dioramas and displays. This little droid market thing is pretty amazing. It's got spare parts in it. I have another version of this that has food in it, so very cool. Nice stuff. His barrels are fantastic, and he also makes, little cargo vehicles, such as this sled over here, which is really neat. I've been meaning to kind of weather it up a little bit more because I personally kind of like a dirtier look to things, but it's really nice. You can carry some barrels in the back. You have a little seat here for somebody to drive it. And yeah, just really nice stuff that he offers. I also picked up this Tuscan campsite a while back, and that's just something I've always wanted as well. It could make one out of paper mache or something like that, but his is very nice and sturdy. It's made of resin, so it's not going to break on you. And when you're moving things around, you don't want to break stuff. So definitely pick that up because it was really nice. It also came with a couple of accessories, such as a similar little basket for food and another type of crate like this that had skulls in it actually. And I think it came with one of these little bundles as well. But I think one of my favorite items is just the barrels. There's something about these barrels that are just fantastic. I really like the look of them. Everything he makes is made of resin and it's just painted very nicely. It's weathered pretty well. And yeah, I'm a big fan of this stuff. Here you can take a closer look at one of the market stands. Again, we have a nice resin piece that's been dyed a really nice, wood color. And then each one of these pieces is individually put in there. And yeah, they look really nice. Cool colors. I really like the palette he uses. And as you can see, this market stand's actually a 3-piece set. You've got the food, you've got the little table to put it on, and then a little type of chair thing that a shorter character can stand on so you can see him over the food. So that is very nice to have. It also came with, 2 of these other fruit baskets or food baskets that go underneath. Just, a nice accessory. Yeah, I wish he had these in his store more often. He definitely has little batches come here and there, so it's something you're going to have to be on the lookout if you're trying to pick up these ones specifically. Definitely follow him on Instagram. Pretty sure he has a Facebook as well. He generally posts on there when he has stuff available on his eBay store. He's mostly been doing larger buildings recently, which are very nice. They're a little bit expensive, but you're paying for some incredible quality. But yeah, definitely if you're looking for items like this, follow him, be on the lookout. These things generally go pretty quick because, as you can see, they're a nice quality. So yeah, be on the lookout for sure. 375 is 100% the world building scale. It allows you to have barrels and market stands and lots of different accessories added to your collections and shelves while not taking up too much space. And as somebody who likes to craft environments for their figures, I cannot thank the people in the community enough for offering these amazing world building accessories. I hope you've enjoyed this video and taking a look at some of my favorite world builders from within the community. Be sure to leave a comment down below about some of your favorite items that you saw today. And don't forget to drop a like on this video and subscribe if you're new to the channel. It really helps and is always greatly appreciated. Thanks everyone, and may the Force be with you.